Welcome back. Today we're stepping into the Cold War era to explore the story of a ship that quietly defined a new age of naval warfare. This is the story of USS Leahy, DLG-16, a guided missile cruiser that helped shape how the United States Navy protected its fleets during one of the most tense periods in modern history. USS Leahy was born in a time when the oceans had become front lines of a global standoff. After World War II, naval warfare was changing rapidly. Aircraft had proven their dominance, missiles were replacing guns, and radar and electronics were becoming just as important as armor. The U.S. Navy realized it needed a new kind of ship, one designed not for close-range gun battles, but for long-range air defense. USS Leahy was one of the answers to that challenge. Named after Admiral William Daniel Leahy, one of the most influential naval officers in American history, the ship carried a name associated with leadership, strategy, and modernization. Admiral Leahy had served as Chief of Naval Operations and as a key military advisor during World War II, and naming a cutting-edge guided missile ship after him symbolized the Navy's commitment to forward-thinking defense. When USS Leahy was commissioned in the early 1960s, she represented a dramatic shift in naval design. Instead of large-caliber guns, her primary weapons were guided missiles designed to intercept enemy aircraft long before they could reach an aircraft carrier. Her sleek superstructure was dominated by radar arrays, antennas, and missile launchers, giving her a futuristic appearance compared to older warships. From the moment she entered service, USS Leahy's mission was clear. She was built to protect carrier battle groups, standing guard against enemy bombers and missiles in a time when a single successful attack could change the course of a conflict. Her presence allowed aircraft carriers to operate with greater confidence, knowing that a vigilant shield surrounded them. Life aboard USS Leahy was intense and demanding. The ship's crew had to master complex radar systems, missile guidance technology, and fast-paced decision-making. Sailors trained constantly, running drills that simulated air attacks and emergency situations. In the Cold War, readiness was everything. There was no room for error, because a mistake could mean catastrophe. USS Leahy quickly became a familiar sight in the world's oceans. She deployed extensively, particularly to the Mediterranean Sea and the Western Pacific, regions where Cold War tensions often ran high. In these waters, her role went beyond military readiness. She was a visible symbol of American commitment to its allies and a warning to potential adversaries that U.S. naval power was always present. During the Vietnam War era, USS Leahy played an important role in supporting U.S. naval operations. She provided air defense for carriers conducting strikes, tracked aircraft moving through contested airspace, and maintained constant vigilance against potential threats. While she was not a frontline attacker, her contribution was essential. Without ships like Leahy, carriers would have been far more vulnerable. What made USS Leahy especially significant was her role as the lead ship of her class. The Leahy-class cruisers set the standard for guided missile escort ships for years to come. The Navy learned valuable lessons from her design and performance, influencing future classes of cruisers and destroyers. In this way, USS Leahy was not just a warship, but a blueprint for the future. Technology aboard USS Leahy was cutting-edge for its time, but it also demanded constant maintenance and adaptation. Electronics evolved quickly during the Cold War, and the ship underwent multiple upgrades throughout her service life. Radar systems were improved, missile capabilities expanded, and onboard equipment modernized to keep pace with new threats. Despite the advanced technology, the true strength of USS Leahy was her crew. Thousands of sailors served aboard her over the years, each one contributing to the ship's mission. Life at sea was not easy. Long deployments meant months away from home, standing watch at all hours, and living in close quarters. But there was also pride. Serving on a guided missile cruiser placed sailors at the forefront of naval innovation. Daily life aboard USS Leahy followed a strict routine. Watches were stood around the clock. Maintenance was constant, because even small failures could compromise the ship's effectiveness. Training drills kept the crew sharp, simulating everything from missile engagements to damage control scenarios. In moments of downtime, sailors found small ways to relax, building friendships that often lasted long after their service ended. As the decades passed, the strategic environment began to change. The Cold War slowly eased, and the Navy reassessed its needs. Newer ships with more advanced missile systems and improved automation entered service. While USS Leahy remained capable, she was part of an earlier generation, built before certain technologies became standard. In the mid-1970s, USS Leahy was reclassified from a guided missile frigate to a guided missile cruiser, reflecting changes in naval terminology and recognizing her true role and capabilities. This reclassification was more than a change in designation, it acknowledged the importance of ships like Leahy in fleet defense and command roles. Even as she aged, USS Leahy continued to serve with professionalism and reliability. She participated in exercises with allied navies, strengthening international partnerships and demonstrating interoperability. These operations helped maintain stability in key regions and reinforced the idea that naval power was not just about combat, but about presence and cooperation. Eventually, time caught up with USS Leahy. Advancements in missile technology, radar, and ship design made newer classes more efficient and cost-effective. Maintaining older ships became increasingly expensive, and the Navy faced difficult decisions about which vessels to retire. When USS Leahy was finally decommissioned, it marked the end of a significant chapter in naval history. For the sailors who had served aboard her, the ceremony was emotional. Decommissioning a ship is not simply a technical process, it is a farewell to a place that shaped lives, tested limits, and forged lasting bonds. After decommissioning, USS Leahy met a fate shared by many Cold War-era ships. She was eventually sunk as a target during weapons testing exercises. While this might seem like a quiet or even harsh ending, it was consistent with naval tradition. Even in retirement, she continued to serve, helping improve weapons systems and training that would protect future sailors. Today, USS Leahy no longer sails the seas, but her legacy endures. She represents a turning point in naval warfare, when missiles and electronics became central to fleet defense. She stands as a reminder of how quickly technology can reshape strategy, and how the Navy adapted to meet new challenges. More importantly, USS Leahy's story is about people. The officers who commanded her, the sailors who stood watch on her decks, and the technicians who kept her systems running all played a role in maintaining peace during a dangerous era. Their service often went unnoticed by the public, but it was critical to global stability. Ships like USS Leahy rarely make headlines, yet they form the backbone of naval power. They protect, deter, and reassure, often without firing a shot. Their success is measured not in battles won, but in conflicts prevented. In the end, USS Leahy was more than steel, radar, and missiles. She was a guardian of the fleet, a pioneer of guided missile warfare, and a symbol of vigilance during the Cold War. Her story reminds us that history is shaped not only by dramatic moments, but by decades of quiet readiness, discipline, and dedication on the open sea.